Hello again. I just want to explain where I got the idea for changing the colors of the chakras, like to this, and it is from this book. It is honestly, this is the second copy I have had because I have read the be-goodness out of this thing. And where I have gotten that from is right there. The esoteric color is violet. Okay, that's where I get this from. I'm not trying to BS. I'm not trying to pull nobody's legs on this. This is where I got all of this information, some of it from, along with my mix of science. Now, this is why I believe the colors should change. Every color, once it separates from white light, turns into a wavelength. Okay? So, yes, I know the wiggly lines are pretty crummy, and I did not have an indigo, so I just went with pink. Sorry, best I had with what I got, a 10-pack of Crayola markers. So, is what it is. So, this, in my opinion, is why changing it would make sense. So, the violet or purple would be the highest, most dense wavelength and frequency. So it would be the hardest to absorb. It's kind of like, where red is broke up and very elongated. Therefore, you turn your battery or your third chakra red, you're absorbing the easiest wavelength to possibly absorb, and it's the very primary color. I mean, it's that base color once it splits from white into the rainbow. The yellow, in my opinion, is signifying the core or the sun within the center of our planet. I believe the crown to be green, and this is strictly a theory, because this wavelength, the green, even in winter, even in fall, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And we are land-based organisms, so it's going to be everywhere and anywhere. It's green. That's just what it is. So if that's at the top, it would be what you absorb. And if the third eye truly is a connection point to your heart, it would make sense that it wants to absorb everything out there so it can see and recognize. I'm not quite sure exactly how to put it that any other way. It's just that's what we observe the most. But with the violet, again, being your center, the violet fires, the purple flames of healing and compassion and love, in my opinion, would burn from the center out. The whole 7-to-1 is basically, if you go for any of the lower ends of the chakras, and within this book, it tells you their pros and cons to each of them, where it leads you, where it leaves you attached. You're staying down here. You have nothing going on up top. I mean, it all flows through, yes, but you're working very hard for that single chakra to give you what you want. And now when you go up toward the top of the chakras, then you start getting into that control. It truly is about control. Anything above, up top, outside of the crown itself, which then you're just in a constant state of bliss. Beautiful. That's beautiful. But the throat basically gives you almost like a silver tongue where you can talk however you want, and people just for some reason believe it, whether it's truth or not. The third eye Now you're trying to literally mind control people, and you're trying to foresee the future. You're trying to look into a future that changes every second, every decision we make, even down to going out and buying that cup of coffee. It changes. So really, you could get your fortune told, or you could flip over your own cards. Yeah, you'll see a little bit into the future, but do you really want to know? I mean, you might not make it to that future when you step out of the house today, when you step away from the computer. Who knows? It's you never planned on dying that day that the people have stepped outside and gone somewhere. They never planned. It's not called a did it on purpose. It's an accident for a reason. So why worry about the future? From what I'm to understand, really, there's only one thing that knows the future. One place, one point, one sign that knows any of it. And I mean, one guy come through and told the future, and we're waiting on him to come back around, correct? But would you really want to know and then have to check yourself to see if you think you're going to make it in? I mean, that doesn't really seem to me like it just doesn't seem like something he was trying to say, okay? And what I was saying in a previous video about don't beat yourself up about your shortcomings and your flaws and your darker sides, your alcohol, your anything that you really, whatever, don't beat yourself up over it. Because when they have served their purpose and when you are ready to move forward, they just fall away. And trust me, I've been down that path of an alcoholic. And I mean, I never went to meetings, but in my own mind, I was well aware I was becoming or had become an alcoholic. And I just, I know what that's like. And yeah, there's some days when it gets absolutely unbearable. But as long as I just go to a different store as soon as I pass, or as soon as I go in there, I don't even end up looking at the beer aisle anymore, or the beer, So it's a moving forward with yourself. You can't force yourself to quit something. You have to be ready for it. If you force yourself, it's not gonna work out. It's just like quitting cigarettes. People that do it and quit cold turkey, it's because they were ready. They were ready, and it was time for them to quit. So it is what it is. But I do wholeheartedly believe that the reason you would change them and go with the most tight, compact wavelength, which in turn would carry the most information in it, because it is so tightly packed. It's not large spaces of blank nothing coming in. To me, well, goodness gracious, there's even, look at royalty, all of these things. There is almost nothing naturally purple outside. Now, I mean like the whole entire thing. To where it's just, to be able to make clothes out. Look into how they used to do the color purple with royalty clothes and all that. It's a thing called, another YouTube channel called After School, and they had a book out about why flags don't have the color purple in them. I've got that book in the house. It is excellent, but it does show the shenanigans that they would go through to make the color purple and what actually had to happen. And it's not all that hot from a perspective of we're supposed to be one with that which is around us. And it's just so densely compact. There's just so many things that tell you about the violet and the purple flames of healing and love and all that. And I wholeheartedly, like I said, this was the book that gave me basically, it showed me a bunch of pieces that are missing out of Christianity. Our power, our energy, our thing that connects us to everyone and everything. And honestly, if that heart is truly balanced and truly where it should be, the others should fall in line, because honestly, you don't really tend to, you kind of set back. You end up using your crown and your root, but they're just an access point for both energies. After you are balanced in the heart, it's an entrance for both energies, from the top and the bottom, to enter that heart at the exact same time. Uh, it works, like I say, on different levels. And in my opinion, it makes more sense than any of it. If you're balanced in the middle, everything else will fall in line. And then it's all up to you to kind of make it, to keep focused on that heart. Keep breathing from it. And I'm going to tell you, it can get miserable. It can get pretty tough when everything you seek and you go for, it just ends up breaking your heart in the end. But there's something inside that just refuses to let me stay down, even when my own mind wants to keep me down. From my dreams, I didn't have a very pleasant one last night at all, but it's my own subconscious beating me up, trying to keep me down. My ego just wailing away because I had a good day, you know. And it is what it is. And, you know, if whatever happens, happens, I'm just trying to give everybody the piece of whatever this is that I feel in my heart. I've always got something with me. I've always got somebody with me. It's always there in my heart. And it hurts what people do and say, but at the same time, I know I'm not alone. Even if I am alone, I always feel that it's there, keeping me going. It gave me, at a very young age, I will not go out like a wuss. I will not commit suicide. I was put here for something. I don't know what. But my mind races very much. It's hard for me when I'm not answering questions to do what I'm doing right now. My mind has always been racing and always in thought. Even when I'm speaking to you guys, I'm still pining over other things in my head. I can't. And that's where my prayer / meditations, that was all it was. My mind does not race or tell me to do anything bad. It's solving problems like that, anything from work to something else, and it's just trying to gather as much information and find the easiest solution for any problems. It's not ever steered me wrong before. It's my own ignorance that steers me wrong, that, hey, this one might be a little different than the last, or these people may not treat me like the last ones, but for some reason they always do. When my use for someone is over, I just kind of get thrown to the side, and I'm left basically holding nothing. And then I got to start over again, and and I am, I, like I said before, I kind of keep myself down. I don't want to, but it's my own mind. It's what it does. Keeps me in check, I guess. Or maybe, I don't really know. But I know that if I do it this way, I'm not too worried about comments or thumbs down or anything like that. Because whoever is going to at least look into any of this and kind of maybe possibly take it serious, it should connect to those who it should connect to. It's kind of like the whole, you are the center of the universe. You are. You're allowing us to be part of your universe. Because as soon as you pass away, nothing exists. None of us exist. This planet stops existing when you pass away. From your perspective, as we look out into the universe, the reason it's expanding is because we keep wanting to look deeper and deeper, but we don't even know about ourselves. I believe we're lost. I believe we had been lost and we're being found, and it's going to happen like an almost all at once type deal. I just, I mean, I just want everybody to feel whatever it is that keeps me going. And thanks to the channel Psych to Go, they really helped me find out what is wrong with me without ever being diagnosed. Yes, I self-diagnosed myself. But, oh man, I'm a mess. Like, yeah, it's, eh. Somehow I've made it. I mean, in my opinion, I believe I've beat the odds on where I should be opposed to where I should be. Where I am opposed to where I should be. And I just want everybody to have a piece of whatever this is that has been with me my whole life. Because it does, it loves. It loves hard. It loves forever. And it's so forgiving. It's just amazing. It's all around us. It's inside of us. It's from that center point. That's why the purple, the violet is the heart. That's your center point. That's where it comes in. Just below it. A little speck of light. It's your entrance point. It is the point where it is that one photon of light that creates your entire physical mass. The very center of your being. It's the heart. The heart is the center. The heart center. Goodness gracious. Let it in. And all you got to do is just ask. Ask to help still your mind. Ask it to help calm you. The voice will become louder. It'll still be a whisper, but you'll be able to make it out opposed to anything else that you've got going in your head. You'll know exactly when it's speaking. I wish you all the best, and I hope you guys can get something out of this. Much love, light, and knowledge from my heart to yours.